615-844-5600. That is the number. Coming live from the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. I am very, very glad to be back here in the studio for a Friday. There's something about doing the remotes on Thursday, like we were at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood yesterday live, which was terrific. I enjoy it every single time we do any of those things. I have such a blast. It's good to see the bit we sit here and talk about so many different businesses and who are proud sponsors of this station and the show and every other show, things like that. But getting in there and getting to see those folks and talk to them and then do a giveaway, shout out Cassie for winning last night at Play It Again Sports Brentwood, walked out of there with a gift card. It's fun to do that out in person. Had some people come up, listeners of the show, came up to us, said what's up. We appreciate that. It's always fun. But I love coming back on a Friday because just a 1 day a week, you know what I mean? Just 1 day, come on in. We're going to get done. Have some fun. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have fun up until about 5:45. Vandy baseball is going to take over 10-0 in SEC play, by the way. And then we'll kick it off to Andrew Algretta. But we're going to have some fun. We got Mike Herndon jumping on at 4:25, talking Titans. Big news today. Jeff Simmons getting signed. He's locked in. He's a Tennessee Titan. He's making a lot of money. Good for Jeff Simmons. Good for Rand Carthon. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. At 5:05, Chad Bishop with VUCommodores.com is going to join us live from Augusta as the Masters continue. Gordon Sargent's day is over. Possibly his Masters round. It's going to happen. It's still huge for the kid and huge for the program to have someone down there representing Vanderbilt. That's always big in itself. So we'll be talking to him, all things Augusta down there. Devlin McKenzie, how are you doing today?
Not good, Zach.
Okay.
Not good. The Masters has suspended play, and it's not looking like it's going to resume today.
I didn't know where it was at right now. I know they resumed play for when they suspended it earlier.
Yeah, so they suspended play. Go ahead and look at that tweet I sent you. But earlier today they suspended play due to weather at 3:07 p.m. and then picked it back up 21 minutes later at 3:28.
I see what's happening right now.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Masters has suspended play again due to inclement weather. The weather is very, very bad right now. At the time, especially whenever they suspended play, they blew that horn and ended everything. And it looked really bad. It was dark out there, nothing but storm clouds in the area. So they evacuated everybody. But also, hole 17, one of the biggest trees I've ever seen collapses on the ground. Luckily, I don't think anybody's hurt. That's not the only tree that fell down. Somehow a large branch, I forget what hole exactly it fell down in, but it was near some people. Hopefully nobody's hurt there as well. But they've got to clean that up before they can resume anything out there, and it's not looking like it's going to get cleaned up today.
Yeah, so that tree that came down, I'm seeing it was on 17. It's huge. The ground and the root system with it being on the ground, the root system that pulled up. And that's what happens when it rains, and especially out there because they have such good grass, good turf. They have so much moisture. They're able to control it so well. When it gets a little wet like that and you get some wind, which I'm assuming is what caused this, it could push. We've seen it here recently all over the place in Nashville. But the ground root system is like 12 foot tall. It looks like,
yeah,
just that part.
Unreal.
Yeah. That's a big tree laying in the fairway.
But then again, it is the Masters, so there is a decent chance that it gets cut up, removed, and cleaned up by the next shot. So,
there's going to be a team of chainsaws out there just putting this thing down immediately.
Yeah, they're on it right now. I have to imagine, but as of right now,
imagine they're not though.
Yeah,
they're just all like, "What do we do?"
Yeah,
and then there's hands up. They're like,
never prepared for this moment.
This is the Masters. They're just looking up. God, why?
All hope is lost. Shut it down.
Why did you do this to us?
It's over. Congratulations, Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka. I mean, can we give a little round of applause for me here? To absolutely throw you a free one.
Deserved.
Look, a lot of golf still to be played, okay? I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch or anything. But Brooks Koepka sitting at 12 under right now. 4,400 is what I have him at to win the Masters. It's looking really good. And it wasn't just like a dart throw against the wall. It was, how can I find a situation of a guy going into the Masters to win, and him coming off a win in Orlando for the LIV, for the Live Tour.
Mm-hmm.
It all worked out. It's all working out right now. As long as he just keeps this momentum going forward, I mean, his biggest opponent right now is
Himself.
It's
himself.
And what, an amateur?
So
he's gonna crumble. Sam Bennett's gonna crumble.
Jon Rahm is looking fantastic right now. He's
so good at not gonna win this.
You're talking about Brooks Koepka, by the way. That's who you should be talking about. Brooks Koepka's not. I'm sorry, Zach, but he's gonna collapse.
You think he's gonna fumble this?
It's only Friday. If this continues, by the way, if it does resume play, Jon Rahm is gonna take the lead today because he's looking fantastic, and I'm pretty sure he's only on like the 11th hole. Jon Rahm looks great. I just don't really think Brooks Koepka has it in him, just from based on the last Masters that he was in, missing the cut. He just mentally isn't really in the game, and I think when it gets to a certain point, I think that's when he collapses. But golf is such a mental game that really anything can happen. Rory McIlroy, for example, that guy had to have been so far into his head that he just couldn't get anything down. Looked absolutely abysmal today. I think he finished 5 over. He's going to miss the cut. He was a projected winner of this tournament, and it just goes to show that anything can happen in this game. There's an amateur right now who's at 3rd place, 8 under. I mean, Brooks Koepka does have a shot. I'll give you that, but
he's looking good.
But knowing how golf works, I mean, everybody has their 2 years. There's this one golfer that has 2 years of pure dominance, unless your name is Tiger Woods. And Brooks Koepka had his 2 years, won 4 majors. Scotty Scheffler's nearing that right now. He's kind of looked rough today. I think he's 3 over on the day so far today, not finished. I mean, you really never know what's going to happen, especially going into the weekend. It all can change. The leaderboard can be completely different by the start of Sunday.
I have faith. I have faith right now.
I'm rooting. Mind you, I am rooting for Brooks Koepka. I love Brooks Koepka. I think the evil villain story is so much fun.
Is he an evil villain?
He is. As far as PGA, as far as people that watch this, he is the villain. I don't think he.
I get it.
I don't think he lives to that. I don't think that's what he plays for. Nice. Yeah, that was no pun intended. I don't think that's what. I don't think that's why he's playing. I don't think he has that attitude going into this. I think the only thing he really cares about is winning. Because that's the one thing that he wants is that green jacket, just because he has, the other majors. I don't think he has the 3 other ones, but right. I don't exactly remember.
He wants this green jacket.
He
real
wants
bad.
it bad. After missing the cut last year, he wants this bad. I can definitely tell you that much. But I am rooting for Brooks. I like Brooks Koepka, but it's
more.
Tough,
you need
man.
to be rooting for me to win my bet.
Absolutely.
That's
plus 4,400.
Plus 4,400.
That's incredible.
I should have put more money on it.
I did see. I saw a tweet. This is. I mean, it's kind of on topic, but
yeah.
Plus 1.2 million parlay. It was all just matchup parlays. I think it was 100 to win 21,000 or something like that. I forget exactly how much it won. It hit. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. Why can that happen to me?
Lord, I've seen the good things you've done for other people.
Come on.
I ask that you do the same for me, Lord.
If I can just predict all 10 top 10.
Yeah, I mean, if you just predict it, you know what I mean? It's
just know.
If the stars align,
yeah.
Don't you wish? Everybody has this in sports where they could just wish that they could tell the future and then just jump back a little bit. Kind of Biff, from Back to the Future, where you get the Gray's Almanac and you get to just run back in time and place the bets and win and change, and then you get on top of that casino and you're watching Dirty Harry in your hot tub. That's what you want. Yeah. That's what you want. Now talking about a guy who could kind of live that scenario now, Jeff Simmons. Give it to him. If he's got his money now, $94 million over 4 years. That's the extension that's went in. $23.5 million per year based on the new money. It's going to break out that in the next 5 years, he's going to make about $104 million. That's including his 5th-year option. He gets $66 million guaranteed and a $24 million signing bonus. And the Tennessee Titans get to keep their guy. This is something that is under the John Robinson ran Titans. You didn't see a whole lot of. You didn't see a whole lot of guys getting the 5th-year option, staying with the team, getting the big deal. This is new. And it's new under a new GM, which is why the Titans have a new GM now. Because they needed to get a guy who's going to keep the pieces in, keep the mainstays in. Jeff Simmons is definitely that guy, and he is going to be here for the long haul now. The Titans have their middle guy, their big lineman, their enforcer of the league. We're talking about the, if not already, best D tackle in the league. Top 5 right now at lowest, and probably in the next 2 years the best. It'll be an uncharacteristically, undeniable, unquestionable guarantee that he's going to be the best D tackle if he stays healthy. And I think every Titans fan should be very, very excited about this. If you're on Twitter, you're probably seeing it. Most Titans fans are very excited right now, as they should be. Also, another thing, this is abnormal because you don't see the Titans shell out this kind of money for players. So maybe there is a change happening over at St. Thomas Sports Park. Maybe there is something going on. I will say this. I think because of this deal, I do not see the Titans trading up for the 3rd spot anymore. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
I think they stay at 11 and they start building their pieces.
Especially not with the whole DeAndre Hopkins rumor.
Yeah, that one can just go die.
Bye-bye.
That one is the worst. That was the worst when it was the worst, and everybody for some reason thought that was the best idea ever. They're showing the videos, by the way, of, if you hadn't seen it, the trees falling down.
I mean,
there's 5 million cameras out there at Augusta.
Just glued to the screen. I mean, it was, I've never seen anything like that.
And the trees are just falling out there, which is crazy. But yeah, no, the Titans are the Titans. They got their piece. I'm glad they got it done now too.
Got it for 5 years.
It needed to happen before the draft.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk more about it with Mike Herndon next break or next segment. But this is a huge piece for the Tennessee Titans, and you're going to get a lot of consistency. But I don't believe this. I don't believe they're going to move up now after making this deal. I think they want to stay at 11. And I don't think they want to move up with the Cardinals. I think they like where they are now. And they're going to build this team up in the new era, which is the Rand Carthon era.
I think that's a good thing, honestly. I like where they're at 11 after that Jeffrey Simmons extension. I think they can get a great player at 11. I don't think they need to move up and get rid of their future picks for a gamble, in my opinion. It's a gamble. It's such a gamble, and after that signing, it's definitely not worth it. So I think that trade can be just gone with the wind, and we'll pick up Jackson Smith maybe. Hi-ho.
Talk a little NBA here real quick before we get into the break. Dallas Mavs are.
What are you doing, guys?
I mean, they are in the toilet, right?
What are you doing?
This a play-in game. Go back to the trade deadline. They go all in as they're sitting very pretty in the West and seem like a playoff-bound team. And they trade and they say, we're going to double down, make our team even stronger. They get Kyrie Irving in. And now, flash forward to today where they have a must-win game. Kyrie Irving out.
Must-win game. Kyrie Irving. I don't really feel like it.
Can I be devil's advocate here a little bit?
Go ahead. They're better without him.
I think they are.
They're better without him.
They were before.
I didn't mean to just take the words out of your mouth, but they're better without him.
The way that they got to this must-win game is because he showed up on the team and started playing.
You know what other teams are better without Kyrie Irving? All of them.
I thought you were going to go the
every
Nets,
single
Celtics,
one.
Cavs.
Locker room, the franchise suicide. Every single team is better without Kyrie, except maybe Lakers. Maybe.
You think he could be better? Just because LeBron's there,
that's he can just take the number 2. He'll be fine. But other than that, I mean, there's a decent chance that Dallas wins tonight. But again,
I don't know about that one, Chief.
It's so funny. I mean, it's hilarious. The fact that you gotta feel bad for Mark Cuban. Sorry, bud. You should have just gotten KD. Luka, play defense.
They need him. Today it's got to be the Luka show, right? This just has to happen.
Oh, it's you expect 50. Whatever the over-under is, which I'm going to go check, I promise you free money. I don't care what that number is.
At 4:45, we're going to have our Austin Hardy State Farm Keeping It Safe picks of the week. and there might be something in the books for that specific game.
It's for sure NBA tonight.
Let's just go ahead and put that out there that that one might be in the play tonight. That one might be on the card. 615-844-5600. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to switch it back up to some Tennessee Titans talk with the big news. Jeffrey Simmons is locked up and loaded for 4 more years after his 5th-year option. So you have 5 years of Jeffrey Simmons and the two-tone blue coming at you. They got their, they kept their guy. I keep wanting to say they got their guy. They already had their guy, and they're just keeping him in-house now. Big contract coming out, $94 million extension for Jeffrey Simmons. We're going to talk about it with Mike Herndon when we return next here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Looks like it's running a little bit slow there on 440 eastbound around Nolensville Pike. It's just that time of the afternoon for it to become heavy over here on 65 up by Metro Center. Lots of radar. We just reported I-40 out through parts of Dixon County, out through the Mount Juliet area as well. To the north, that's building pretty good. On 65, making your way up towards Goodlettsville. 24, tons of radar being reported around 840 in both directions out there on I-24 this afternoon. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. Check out their menu or stop by 2 of their locations this weekend at princesshotchicken.com. Check it out.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register, or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. This afternoon is going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 60. Cloudy tonight with the slightest chance for a shower later Saturday morning, low tonight 48. Then mostly cloudy for the rest of Saturday with a high of 62. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Golfers teed up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Callaway, featuring the Paradigm Woods and Irons. The Paradigm Woods are engineered with forged carbon to have unparalleled distance and forgiveness. The Irons feature a high-strength forged face for increased launch, speed, and spin. A new paradigm in performance. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I just saw a picture of Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon's one of those guys that lived hard, okay?
I know. Look, I know. I understand. There's some rough, humble miles on that body.
Yeah.
Some on the field, some off the field.
Jim McMahon, high mileage.
Oh, there's a high mileage.
High mileage in that vehicle.
It is not highway miles.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Call in now to the afternoon stretch, 615-844-5600, and be the most talented person on the show.
The afternoon stretch. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, 615-844-5600 is typically the option that you get, but not in this segment, because now we get to talk with our good buddy Mike Herndon. Follow him on Twitter at Mike Herndon, NFL columnist with PaulKaharski.com. Covers all things Titans. Also co-host of the F Words Pod. Don't talk about that enough here on the show. Always want to give as many plugs as I possibly can for someone that I think is well deserving, and Mike is definitely that guy. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Doing well. Brooks Koepka plus 4,400 to start off before the Masters, so I'm sitting really fine right now, Mike.
That's very nice. Yeah, I had Colin Morikawa and Jordan Spieth, so we're hanging around the fringes right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, no matter what, we're not going to get the money that we're seeing with our man Big Jeff, who is clocking in an extension of 94 million, guaranteed 66 million in that one. When you saw those numbers, I put out a tweet when it was kind of in the air, that you saw his agent, Paul, however you say his name, come out and put his little photo. You kind of could tell, okay, well, there's something coming with the Jeff Simmons news today. And I think you put it out there, an over-under of 100 million with 60 million guaranteed or something like that. I thought it was going to be high. I didn't think he was going to cross into the 100 million mark, but I think this is a really good deal. It does seem very high than what we've seen the Titans do in the past, though.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's less than what I kind of thought he would end up getting, because Daron Payne came in at 4 years, 90 million, and so basically Simmons ends up getting $1 million per year over what Payne got, and I think Simmons is a better player. Now I think it's probably important that they got this done ahead of Quinnen Williams and Dexter Lawrence and even the guy in Miami, and I'm blanking on his name now. But there's some other really good young defensive tackles that are up.
Wilkins
in the next year. Wilkins, that's it. Yep. So those guys, the way that these things usually happen is, one guy beats the next guy beats him, the next guy beats him. So being able to get that deal done and basically just slotting into that number 2 defensive tackle spot for right now, at least, behind Aaron Donald is a good spot for Jeffrey Simmons. I think that pays him about what he's worth, and it keeps him here long term, locks up your best player on the team at this point. I think that's what he is, and it keeps him around for the next 5 seasons now.
Yeah, it's something too with what you just said about the other DTs in the industry, in the game, that are lined up to get paid. It parallels very much the AJ Brown conversation we all were having last season at this time before the draft of, you have all these wide receivers getting ready to get paid, getting paid. Like, when are the Titans going to move on AJ Brown? Because, you don't want to be the last one getting the money out there, because typically that means you're going to be paying the high end of the market. This time, I mean, do you think this was something with Rand Carthon, that knowing the Titans' history of one, not getting that done quick enough or not doing it at all, and trying to set a new precedent? Like, is this something that you think we're going to be able to see with Rand Carthon and how the Tennessee Titans are going to do with their front office, that they're going to sign their guys, they're going to pay their guys, they're going to keep talent in-house, let alone, or instead of how we've seen AJ Brown, Jack Conklin, a lot of other names like that went out a lot in the J-Rob era?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, because this is certainly the earliest extension that we've seen for a major player in this market since, John Robinson took over in 2016. So, obviously Taylor Lewan, I believe, was in July or maybe August. Kevin Byard was around that same time period. Tannehill and Henry went all the way up to like the start of free agency with theirs. So it is certainly a break from what John Robinson had done with these kind of mega contract extensions and things like that. So I think hopefully it is, because I think most of the time the sooner you can get these things done, the better off the team is, because it gets to the point where like we talked about, other contracts start hitting the market, and the prices never go down, right? Like, for these top guys anyways, the prices just don't go down, they just keep going up, which goes with the inflating salary cap and everything like that. But We already had seen it start to trickle out with Deron Payne, with Javon Hargrave getting, in that to that $20 million per year range, and it's only going to go up. I mean, I'd fully expect Dexter Lawrence and Quentin Williams to be either at or above what Simmons ended up getting, and I would imagine this probably makes those deals, start to speed up a little bit.
Talking with Mike Herndon, columnist with PaulKarski.com. Follow him on Twitter at Mike Herndon NFL. So, Mike, I'm going to be radio guying the hell out of this next thought, but stick with me. With this being done now, this deal with Jeff Simmons that I think a lot of Titans fans were probably sweating out for a while, but also the front office with the Tennessee Titans were probably sweating out for a while. I think this solidifies they're staying at 11. I don't think they're going to make any more big moves. Especially the way you just see the NFL move as a whole. I don't expect a trade to move up to the 3 mark and that god-awful DeAndre Hopkins trade that was going around that FanDuel had staring everybody up. I think this means they're sticking at 11, and Titans fans should be prepared for that pick.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I could see them possibly moving up to 3 would be if their quarterback, whoever they think is the best of this group, is just sitting there at 3 for some reason, and they think, okay, well, this is our opportunity to go get our franchise guy. Let's go get him. And to me, like, I have the hunch, and this isn't like sourced information or anything like that, but I have the hunch that it's CJ Stroud would be their preferred quarterback, just based off of what Mike Vrabel has said he prefers in the past, what Rand Carthon has said he prefers. It sounds like they're talking about CJ Stroud when they kind of lay out what they want in a quarterback. So the only way I could possibly see it would be if for some reason CJ Stroud slides to 3, which is possible. I mean, I wouldn't completely rule out the idea that some team falls in love with Anthony Richardson and does something which I would think would be crazy, taking him over those other 2 guys. But we've seen weirder things happen. But he's the only guy that I could really see. But otherwise, I think either stick and pick or even trade back if they can find a partner is probably the smart play. Barring just they've got a massive grade on Stroud or something like that, and they have the opportunity. But I tend to think you're right. I tend to think it's more likely they stick at 11 and take wide receiver, offensive line, somewhere in there. Maybe edge rusher. You never know. But I think that's kind of where this is headed.
So, I mean, staying at 11, let's say that just is where it is. Have you changed? Have you waffled at all on your thought? Because I know I certainly have. The more you start looking into things, the more you start trying to decipher, okay, where's the best look? Because this is the same things that Rand Carthon and the entire Titans organization are doing as well. I start looking around and say, okay, the offensive tackle spot, that would be good. But there's got to be scenarios that you say, okay, if this guy and this guy are gone, well, then we're moving positions in totality. I've almost put now the wide receiver spot up ahead. And I think it kind of got brought along with that whole DeAndre Hopkins trade rumor, all that kind of stuff, saying, okay, would you rather have DeAndre Hopkins or would you rather have Njigba? And I find myself always at the Njigba spot now, to where I'm almost saying now I see the benefits of 2 young wide receivers and Treylon Burks and then Njigba going together. They're brilliant together, I would think. I think they would match perfectly. And then moving on from the offensive tackle later on in the draft. Have you changed it all, or where are you at with that?
Yeah, I started, I guess, this off season thinking, left tackle is the spot to look for right there. And look, and I've been pretty adamant that Andre Dillard shouldn't really change their long-term plans right now. He's effectively on I'd call it like a 1.5-year contract. Like if he stinks, they could get rid of him next year and not be in that bad a shape. And if he's just okay, maybe it's just a 2-year thing. But I do think when I look at the draft, Jackson Smith and Jigba just continues to stand out to me as the guy among the receivers that if there's going to be a superstar that comes out of this draft class at wide receiver, it is going to be him, in my opinion. He's got everything you want in like a star type wide receiver. He's got that ability to quickly separate. He's got great feet, great hands. He's got elite body control, which I am, and this is something that I think crystallized for me during the AJ Brown selection and then the aftermath, like obviously him becoming awesome. body control was the thing that stood out to me about AJ Brown when I watched him. And it's something that stood out to me about a lot of the really high end receivers that have entered the league in the last few years. And Jackson Smith and Jigba has it in spades. It's the ability to contort your body and make these catches while being harassed by a corner, 20 yards downfield and the ball's over the wrong shoulder. It's just something that translates almost, every time at the NFL level. And when a guy has it, to me, that is kind of that star quality trait that makes me perk up and say, okay, this guy can really be a dude. But it's not just that, he can get open too. Like, it's not just he's this contested catch, savant, which he is, but he's also a separation creator. So he really brings it all to the table. And I get the hamstring concerns and everything like that, especially with his team's injury issues over the past couple of years. But I cannot look Jackson Smith and Jigba in the eye at 11 and tell him that, I'm going somewhere else. To me, if he's on the clock, if they're on the clock at 11 and he's on the board, that's my pick. And I'm pairing him with Burks. It's like you said, I think they go together great. I think they're a really nice complement of skill sets, and I'd be all in on that duo.
And it seems like, too, that a lot of Ohio State people have been in the conversation of grading wide receivers of the past, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. They had been talked about saying, okay, who's the best out of our group that was there? It was Njigba. Then you had Brian Hartline come out and say who was the best. Oh, it was Njigba. I know I saw some people almost put a conspiracy hat on saying, well, they're just trying to sell Njigba as much as they can. And then my IO fan over here that I have in the room is agreeing with me that they're just trying to sell Njigba as much as they can. But I think there's a real testimony of these guys are not just saying that, they mean it. And he's going to be that guy that you want on your team going forward. Whoever's going to grab him, I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson, but we're talking about consistently a top 5 guy in the wide receiver position in the NFL in the coming years. And it transitions your offense away from the Derrick Henry style, which guess what? That's going to happen one day, folks. I know Titans fans hate hearing that, but one day it will change because Derrick Henry's not going to be here forever. And having those two young pieces like that would be an easy transition for a young quarterback, depending on who they get.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that, the comments about the Jackson Smith and Jigba from, Brian Hartline, Garrett Wilson, et cetera, saying that he's the best of them. And normally I do think that there's something to that. They're just trying to sell the next guy. I remember, when Mac Jones was being hyped up by all the Alabama guys and stuff like that, before his class, before his draft. But this is the differentiator for me. I have an article in 2021 before the start of the season. This was before anyone knew who Jackson Smith and Jigba was that wasn't like a recruiting fanatic, because he hadn't even broken out. This was before his breakout season. And Garrett Wilson says, and this is a quote from him, before the season, Jackson is as good as I've ever seen, probably the best I've ever seen. He's the most natural athlete I've ever seen. To me, that means he wasn't trying to sell him for the draft in 2021, right? Like that's not what he was trying to do then. So he's been saying this for years now. I think they truly believe it, and I think that's how special he is. I mean, look, he was a 5-star recruit. Like he is uber talented. I just don't think there's any doubt about that. And whether he's better than Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave at the NFL level, we'll see. But I think he has the talent to certainly be. I think he is the most talented of that group. You could maybe say Marvin Harrison Jr. will, be better than him coming behind him in this Ohio State assembly line. But look, Bama had that run where they had all the great receivers all together, and you couldn't go really wrong taking any of them, as it turns out. Besides, obviously Henry Ruggs, had a off the field incident that kind of ruined his NFL career. But I think you can't go wrong taking in Njigba. I think he's almost a can't miss kind of prospect to me. So I am all aboard him at 11. I would be fired up about that pick if I was a Titans fan.
Vontae Mack, no matter what. Is there any deep sleeper that you've been looking at? I mean, not deep sleeper. I say that in the fantasy sense, but I mean in this draft sense, looking in the later rounds that has kind of perked you up at different positions that you've kind of been focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for one, kind of sticking at wide receiver, I think Marvin Mims has been wildly underrated throughout this draft process. he was extremely productive at Oklahoma, even this past season when they had a 0 quarterback and really struggled as a team. I think Marvin Mims, and this is coming from a Texas guy, so I'm really believing this if I'm talking up an Oklahoma wide receiver. But I think Marvin Mims should be a 2nd-round pick, and a lot of projections I'm seeing him going in the 3rd round. I'd be perfectly happy with him at 41, frankly. Now maybe they end up double dipping at wide receiver at some point, and you could end up with him and Jackson Smith-Njigba, which would be a dream for me. But I think Marvin Mims is one of those guys that I'm way higher on than the consensus. I would have him probably as my wide receiver 3 or 4 in this class. And most draft boards, I'm seeing him much further down than that.
Incidentally, if he's drafted to the Tennessee Titans, he's wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I mean step right in. Yeah,
he fits right into the mold. Mike Herndon, you can follow him on Twitter at Mike Herndon NFL. Mike, we always love having you on, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, bud.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Mike Herndon, always good stuff there. If you don't follow him, you need to on Twitter at Mike Herndon NFL. And he's got 26,000 followers, so he really needs the followers. Give him the help, guys. 615-844-5600. If you want to jump in, maybe there was something that we just talked about and you want to add a little bit to the discussion or maybe a different opinion, I'd love to hear from you. Phone lines are open on the other side here for the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Just give yourself plenty of extra travel time out here. It's busy on the South Loop, the West Loop, steady flow of traffic out through the Mount Juliet area. Now you got heavy on 40 eastbound out there around OHB through that section of Hermitage to the west. We saw some heavy traffic over there on the South Loop just a couple of minutes ago. To the north, that's still moving, just slow sometimes. On 65, just trying to get up past Vietnam Vets. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products, edibles, flowers, concentrates. Check out that Cannabalist infused water. Order online this weekend at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gear up for disc golf at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville during their April disc golf sale. Swing in and stock up on their huge selection of new and gently used disc golf gear and equipment. During their month-long April disc golf sale, you save 10% on all disc golf carry bags. They have the trained staff to help you find the perfect disc, bags, target baskets, and more for the upcoming season. And they will also buy the disc golf gear you no longer use. That's right, every day, all day, you can get cash on the spot for your underused disc golf gear. They also buy baseball, lacrosse, football, soccer, golf, plate weight, hockey gear, and that treadmill that is transformed into a clothes hanger. If you have gear you no longer use or doesn't fit, trade it in for either cash or for store credit towards your next purchase. And you can trust me, not only am I a spokesperson, but I'm a customer. You can always find me in the Hendersonville store. That's Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville. Tell them your buddy Zach here at Nashville Sports Radio sent you. Again, see my friends at Play It Again Sports in Brentwood and Hendersonville.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
Or,
yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
Or it may be even subtler, like,
speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
What's your next dream? Paying off your credit card, remodeling your kitchen, exploring the rainforests of Costa Rica? Whatever your dreams, they take some planning. And State Farm agent Austin Hardy is right here in the Middle Tennessee community to lend a hand. As your local good neighbor, he can help you look at the things you want to save for and come up with a plan to make those saving goals happen. Because your money should work just as hard as you to achieve your dream. So whether it's being free of debt or free to roam the world, call State Farm agent Austin Hardy here in the Middle Tennessee community. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, this is Greg Pogue.
And John Burton.
And we invite you to come visit with us, the Greg Pogue John Burton Show, live on location, Hermitage Strike and Spare, 3436 Lebanon Road, Tuesday.
That's right. Come out and hang out with me and the Pokester for a little bowling and breakfast.
Hermitage Strike and Spare, 3436 Lebanon Road, kidsbowlfree.com/strike and spare. Check that out, strikeandspare.com. Tuesday, Hermitage Strike and Spare.
We'll see you there.
Follow the afternoon stretch on Twitter at Bruno Reagan and Zachariah W. Really, man? You want that? I'm not spelling that out.
The afternoon stretch. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Just had a great interview with Mike Herndon. Go check that out, WNSR.com. Click the afternoon stretch on the live show list, and then you'll be able to hear it right there. It's the fun time of the week. I love this time of the week, and it's time for us to get into our Austin Hardy Keeping It Safe picks.
Time now for the Keeping You Safe Pick of the Week, brought to you by Austin Hardy State Farm Insurance.
Firing them away. We're 3-1 last week. Coming in hot to this week. And we got some good ones. Austin Hardy, State Farm Insurance. He is the real safe pick. We'll talk about him in just a few moments. But let's look at where we're going this. First off, Devlin, I want to ask you this. Are you ready?
Yes.
I said, are you ready?
I'm hesitant.
That's not the energy. I mean, come on.
Dude.
We're talking about peanut butter and jelly. That's what I need. I'm getting peanut butter and coconut oil. That's what I'm getting right now.
Doesn't sound half bad.
I don't know about that one. Man, I pulled out the old DX line for you too. You don't know anything about DX.
I don't like the NBA lines. I don't. They're very, very large.
Go for the first one. It's your turn.
First
you
one,
lead it off.
I don't like this, but I'm taking Kings +9 against the Golden State Warriors. Andrew Wiggins is out. Obviously, that really doesn't have much of an effect on it. I really don't think people might disagree with me, but I don't think Andrew Wiggins is going to be a deal breaker there. I'm going to take the Kings, even though they're going to be resting a lot of players, at +9. They could. I think they'll cover. I don't think the Kings win. I think they can cover, or the Golden State Warriors blow them out. That's the way these games are going to work throughout the rest of the regular season, just because, all teams are going to be resting. Some teams are going to be playing for a spot, and the Golden State Warriors are playing to solidify their number 6 seed. All they have to do is win out. Lakers, on the other side, they need to win out, and they need the Golden State Warriors to lose one game. I don't think Golden State loses tonight, but I like the Kings to cover.
Keep it close. I'm going to go to the UFC. I'm not gonna lie. I was on the Izzy hype train, hoping he gets his belt back until I saw the weigh-ins. Did you see what happened?
I did not.
So Izzy showed up in a dog collar.
Shocker.
It was a shock collar. It was a dog shock collar, and he said that somebody finally asked him. Which, by the way, this is the weirdest weigh-in press conference. I don't even know. It was press conference, whatever it was. It was weird. It was super weird. There was a bunch of Dana White kept kiboshing every question that was asked, and there was all kinds of things. But Izzy was wearing a dog collar, and he said, when this collar comes off, the dog's going to get unleashed. Like, he wore it as like a carrot top kind of prop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm setting this one up, man. So I was out immediately. Pereira by knockout. I think it's going to happen. It's +210. So it stays right in our range of safe picks, because we're not allowed to pick crazy picks, but we can pick safe. +210 to me is it's one. Our range is 250, so we're inside that. But I think this is very safe. Pereira has been historically the only person to beat this man, and he's done it multiple times, and as of recently has taken the belt away from Izzy. I think everybody has a kryptonite. Daniel Cormier was a monster up until the last real, the last bit of his tenure in the fight game, and he couldn't beat Stipe, but and then John Jones though was his kryptonite. That was it just didn't matter what you did. John Jones was going to beat you. I think this is Izzy's kryptonite. I don't think he's going to climb the mountain and get back on top. I think he's going to get dropped and just suffer a loss and have 3 losses to his name.
I like that pick because I completely agree. I don't think Izzy can beat this guy. I think it's a similar situation to DC and John Jones. I think it was a pretty good comparison. I like the pick. I think it's safe.
Yeah. I text our buddy Bruno too, and he said he's hoping Pereira wins as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's a pretty good guy to go to for the UFC.
So. Yeah, gotta throw it out there. I don't even know if he's going to be playing tomorrow or something, but I just knew he'd be paying attention to that one. All right, what is your next one?
Lakers will not cover.
Ooh,
nope. They're playing the Suns tonight. They are a 12.5-point favorite. Hate that a lot because the Lakers play their hearts out and barely beat teams, take them to overtime. Whereas the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be resting players. KD's not playing, but I also think that the Lakers, there's a pretty doubtful chance that a lot of their best players are going to be playing. So I don't think they win by 12.5. I think that's absolutely absurd. I think Phoenix 12.5 plus is, I think that's almost free money.
I like that one. I'm keeping it with the NBA with you. We talked about this earlier. Dallas Mavs taking on the Bulls at home, must-win game. Can't take them money line.
Mm-hmm.
Can't take the Mavs money line because they are minus 340.
Oh, yeah, no.
There is a lot of me right now wanting to say, let's take the Chicago Bulls plus 275 to outright win against the Mavs.
Really?
And that's only because it would just be another check mark in the don't have Kyrie Irving on your team.
So this is like a heart pick almost.
I'm taking my brain.
Okay.
I'm taking my brain. I'm not listening to my heart. But I want it on the record that I did say that I want the Bulls to win for my heart. How fun that would be, right? To talk about and then, crap on Kyrie, all that kind of stuff.
But you're taking them plus 8.
I'm taking the Mavs minus 8.
Thank you. I was going to say,
I'm taking the Mavs to cover. They're going to shut up all the doubters. Luke is going to go crazy tonight.
I'm glad. Because I was going to say, if you were going to take the Bulls, I was going to say, I like the Mavs minus 8 tonight. I do. Not only do I like them to win, obviously, but I like them to cover those points. Good pick.
It's a bad omen, though, right now.
It's not good.
This is a bad omen. I'll tell you why.
It's a disaster in Dallas.
I'll tell you why it's a bad omen. That the picks that we made, because we do 2 apiece, and we put these into a parlay. Now, obviously, they're keeping a safe pick, so you take these as straight.
Oh,
you don't. That's you keep it safe all the way through. But what's the worst year on record in the last decade of years?
What do you mean?
The worst year.
The worst year?
Yeah.
2021, 2020?
2020.
Yeah.
It's plus 2020 is what this same game parlay is.
That's
we walked into today 3-1. I don't know if we're gonna walk out of here another 3-1. I'm worried we're gonna be wrong on all counts.
There's gonna be a black cat walking in this room.
Yeah, we're gonna go under a ladder. A mirror's gonna shatter right in front of us.
This is the start for a disaster.
This is not good.
All 4 of these are not good. They're all gonna miss.
They're all missing. Maybe take the opposite. $10 to win you 202 on that parlay, by the way. The real good news is the safe pick you can trust. That's Austin Hardy, State Farm Insurance Agent. When those days happen, and I tell you those days happen because they happen. They just happened here in Nashville, here in Middle Tennessee. They've happened where the storms are coming up. We're getting tornadoes. We're getting hail damage. You're getting all kinds of things. You want to have somebody on your insurance side that's going to be with you every step of the way, and that's Austin Hardy, State Farm Insurance. Check them out, 7110 Town Center Way, Suite 1 in Brentwood. Or you can check them out on the web at insuredwithaustin.com. Get them on the phone, 615-810-9999. And once again, online at insuredwithaustin.com.
This has been your Keeping You Safe pick. The real safe pick you can choose is Austin Hardy with State Farm Insurance for home and auto. Give Austin a call at 615-810-9999.
Good afternoon. It's pretty typical right now with all this heavy traffic on the South Loop, the West Loop. Lots of law enforcement present up and down. Donaldson Pike this afternoon, we had some visitors come in from out of town. Traffic still in pretty good shape right now to the north. Just that heavy traffic fighting your way up through Madison, towards Goodlettsville. South of town, it's been pretty quiet actually as we stared at live here on 65 down into Brentwood and Franklin. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. If you haven't seen that menu in a while, check it out now. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-240-4917 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-240-4917. That's 800-240-4917. Again, 800-240-4917.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
When you're away from home and you want down-home cooking, Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel is the answer. Excellent, fresh, and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Music City omelet and some prime rib hash, or a cast iron waffle with Nashville hot chicken. For those wanting variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City. And of course, the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Start your day with the fresh, local, and down-home cooking of Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
I'm not saying like Derrick Henry's going to be bad. I just don't think he's going to be able to tote the rock 330 times in a season. He did lose a half step. He was getting caught in that second level, and you saw the fumbling. If that's what their plan is, we're just going to go in again on Derrick Henry and figure this out. It just seems like the definition of insanity to me.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
The afternoon stretch. The best show? Yeah. Nah, I don't know if I can say that, man. I'm going to move on to the next one.
The afternoon stretch. You know, you would think other athletes and other sports are good at other things, but this just goes back to my point where, you know, not all football players can play baseball, not all basketball players. I don't know if anybody's seen the video. Let's pull it up on our video stream here. There's a video of Travis Kelce, who was Cleveland Guardians, still getting used to that one, by the way. But the Cleveland Guardians throwing the first pitch. Go ahead and play that on the video here. It is an absolute terrible first pitch that is going to go down in history as one of the worst first pitches ever. I mean, this guy, if for the audio listeners out there, he bounces it maybe 10 feet in front of the plate. It's terrible.
He ran up. He better.
Yeah, no, he was He was a little embarrassed.
I haven't seen that angle. That was actually really bad.
That was a terrible one. Hey, let Patrick throw the ball. You know what I mean? That's what you can do. That was bad for Travis Kelce. All right, first hour's done. We got a second hour coming up. Leading off the 5 o'clock hour, Chad Bishop, who was down in Augusta following Gordon Sargent around, but also seeing everything going on down there right now. We're going to get some insider what's happening down in Augusta at the Masters when we return here on the afternoon stretch.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. An update on those screenshots posted on social media that seem to be classified U.S. or NATO military information on Ukraine. The Pentagon now says the documents are of limited intelligence value, appear to have been altered from the originals, and are weeks old, no longer relevant. Russian forces used ground and air-fired missiles, rocket launchers, and drones to bombard the provinces of eastern Ukraine it has illegally annexed, but doesn't fully control, says the Ukrainian military. Outrage continues over Republican leaders kicking out 2 black Democratic state lawmakers yesterday from the state house for taking part in a gun control protest. Nashville NAACP President Vanita Lewis.
The expulsion set a dangerous precedent for black lawmakers across the country.
Disappointment in Rome as Pope Francis wasn't taking part in the traditional Good Friday Way of the Cross procession. This is ABC News.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
Jim Rome is here weekdays 11 to 2 on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
Give the show a couple of weeks. You're not going to like it. Nobody likes this show the first time they heard it. My wife hated the show. I married her. Give it 2 weeks. If after 2 weeks you can honestly say to me, you know what? I listened to every day for 2 weeks, and the truth is, I hate you more now than I did the first day. Then I'm going to be man enough to say to you, you know what? You probably aren't that smart.
Jim Rome, 11 to 2 on Nashville's original sports radio, WNSR.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's April, and you know what that means? Taxes are almost due. Jackson Hewitt can help you win tax season. That's the sound of your maximum tax refund. The sound of getting 50% off tax prep. The sound of many of our competitors' prices going up. And the sound of getting to your nearest Jackson Hewitt. Hurry in for 50% off tax prep before this offer expires April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm. Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now at 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Second hour of the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, we'd love to talk to you. 615-844-5600 here till 5:45 till we kick it over to Andrew Allegretta and the Vandy boys that are going up for game number 2 up in Columbia against the Tigers. Can't say it like that. You can't say it like the LSU Tigers. You gotta just Tigers. They're the Tigers. But hopefully going to try to go 11-0 in SEC play after picking up the win yesterday. Not the only Vandy athletes in action, as down in the Masters, Gordon Sargent finished up his second round today. Wasn't the outcome everybody was hoping for, but still very impressive that the 19-year-old sophomore was there all the same. And one man who's been following him the whole step of the way and had the, absolute amazing job of, I'm not going to joke about it anymore, Chad. I'm very jealous that when I saw Monday, whatever day you got down there, I saw your placard. It said Chad Bishop on it inside of Augusta's press house. 'Cause it's not just a tent, it's a house. I was very jealous of Chad Bishop for VUCommodores.com. Chad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. And I'll tell you, I feel like I was even a little bit jealous of my own self. I didn't know how adventurous and how nice this week was going to be from a personal aspect. It's really, really cool to be there as a member of the press and a member of the communications team at Vanderbilt and be able to be in that press building and rub elbows with some, elite journalists and elite media folks, but then also be able to kind of walk the grounds starting Monday, 3 days before the competition even begins. Really, really cool to see some of the behind-the-scenes things and, watch some of the best golfers in the world warm up on the putting green, inches away from some guys, and watching, Gordon Sargent have a practice round with Rory McIlroy and walking 9 holes like that, Justin Thomas and Zach Johnson, and just a really, really cool week for myself personally, and also obviously just a really memorable and awesome week for Gordon Sargent as well.
Absolutely. What have been some of those things, for Gordon specifically that you've talked with them? I read a couple of your articles already that, one, I saw the joke that he made that said, professional golf is harder than college golf, which, taking a little bit lighthearted side of it. But what's been some of the things for Gordon that you've seen that have really been standout moments for him and the brand of Vanderbilt?
I think definitely going to that first tee, not only on Thursday, but there was a massive crowd on Monday, and a big crowd on Tuesday, and a big crowd on Wednesday. And Gordon Sargent's never played in front of that many people before. He's been at, some amateur tournaments, and the college circuit has had, maybe 50 to 100 people walking around. You're talking about a couple thousand at just one tee alone. So, he definitely said that was something he had to sort of adjust to. But, I was really curious to hear him say the way he went into this week and a game plan of wanting to play with some of the best in the world, like Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas and Zach Johnson and Max Homa, and playing with some of these guys to be able to pick their brain and sort of understand their approach and how they go about their business and how they go about their work on a week like this. He took a lot of notes. He told a reporter today that, he had all sorts of notes in his little notebook going into the day today and yesterday, and unfortunately he said he hit a lot of the places on the course where he had marked it wasn't supposed to hit it. But I just think it was cool for him to be able to sort of, he's talked to professionals before, obviously, but actually see them work and walk the course with them, I think is just going to pay such big dividends for him in his career.
Talking with Chad Bishop, coverage for Vanderbilt Commodores on VUCommodores.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Mr. Chad Bishop. It seemed like that first tee shot of yesterday. It was all coming together right there, and you got, I mean, the immediate pop that you got to see this guy and the ability he does have. 356-yard drive, then sticks an 85-foot wedge shot to 9 feet, and then birdies that one. There's obvious talent with him, and take everything, obviously, all the accolades through college. This is going to be something now that I think is going to help propel him so much further in the future of competitive play, to be in front of that kind of crowd and to still have success like he did on that first hole.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's funny. I think I heard Gordon's dad, Seth Sargent, tell a couple today that after he made that birdie, I think everybody was amped up. His fans, his family, social media, the world. Probably Gordon was a little too amped up after that birdie on Thursday, and I think you saw that play out over the next 2 holes. I heard an interesting phrase this week when it came to the Masters and Augusta National, is that it's a course that you have to take what the course is giving you. And I think a lot of times this week, Gordon maybe tried to take some shots that weren't necessarily there, or take some birdies or some eagles that weren't there quite yet. And again, just a huge learning experience for him, because, you know, every hole, whether it was Thursday or Friday or even in the practice rounds, his driver outdrives everybody. I mean, he's the longest ball on the course. The power is just unprecedented. But when you get close to those greens, the chipping, the putting, you know, that's what these tournaments are won. And you can see guys like Thursday and Friday, he's playing alongside Jason Day and Zach Johnson. And those guys are being a little bit more conservative and playing it a little more close to the vest, because they've done it before and they know how to sort of manage their game and manage the course. And you got to think that Gordon was just watching and soaking every second up of that. So, again, just like we said, we'll rehash it over and over, but just really a learning opportunity that not a lot of amateurs and not a lot of kids get to have, especially as a 19-year-old who still has, you know, a couple of tournaments left this season before going to the NCAA tournament once again.
And for everybody out there, the Masters have officially suspended play today after the weather down there. Were you around with the weather hitting? Are you already on your way back to Nashville? I know it sounds like you're driving, so I didn't know, maybe you're already on the way back up to town.
Yeah. Sorry about the noise, but yes,
you're okay.
I was still in the building at 3:07 local time when play was suspended. I understand a tree has fallen since then, so I'm kind of glad I got a little bit out of Dodge. But I think, you know, the writing was on the wall. Gordon being +9 for the tournament. I think the cut line about the time I left was +2. So I think he knew his week had come to an end, and with a lot of the other amateurs playing very, very well, didn't look like he was going to finish as a low amateur either. So kind of a rough ending to the week for him, but again, he had a memorable time for sure.
So there was a lot of Vandy support there at the crowd, fans, but also notable people. I mean, who all was out there that showed up for the for Vanderbilt?
Really cool to see Jerry Stackhouse on Thursday. Jerry Stackhouse and Vanderbilt Athletic Director Candace Lee were down there to support him. You know, as we all know, Jerry Stackhouse is a big golf fan, a big golfer himself, and very close to Gordon Sargent and head coach Scott Limbaugh in the golf program. Chancellor Daniel Diermeyer was in attendance today. The Vanderbilt swim coach Jeremy Oregon was walking around the course, and there was a number of other fans too. I mean, I think I saw all sorts of Vandy V's and Starvies around the course. It meant a lot to Gordon. I know he's probably not supposed to be looking over in the gallery, but I'm sure he's snuck a few peeks here and there to see some familiar faces. His teammates showed up on Wednesday. A lot of them played a tournament in Florida earlier this week, got back to Nashville, and a few of them jumped in the car at 4 a.m. on Thursday to come support him in that first round, which I thought was a really cool move and meant a lot to him. So really good to see a lot of support for him, and really, really special for that kid to look up and see a lot of black and gold in the gallery.
I mean, how can you not? You know, I hope he did. Talk about a 19-year-old kid, let alone the finish, because the finish, by the way, you know, well, I think what is +5 he was 5 over at the end of it, I believe. You know, for all the golfers out there that, you know, want to say anything about a 19-year-old kid playing at the Masters and go, oh, well, he finished at the bottom of the leaderboard. I think there's a lot of golfers out there who would just probably give off their left leg to, one, play at the Masters, but two, just to be able to shoot 5 over, you know, consistently, even at that kind of level. And so I hope he did look around, and I hope he did get to observe the whole thing. Cause I mean, that's the moment that you just have to drink in completely. I do believe Gordon Sargent's going to be back at the Masters one day, though.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was on, I believe it was Thursday on hole 3, which he really, really struggled on. And there was a gentleman behind me, maybe had a beer or two, and he was sort of making some wisecracks about Gordon's struggles, and took every fiber of my body not to turn around and settle him down a little bit. Because, again, he's 19 years old. You know, he's playing in the Masters, and he even said it today himself. Like, yeah, you know, he played some pretty bad golf out there, but got to keep things in perspective where he is in his career and where he'll be not only the rest of this season but in seasons to come. It's one of the, like you said, keeping it in perspective is huge for him, and I think he's going to be fine down the road.
So what were some of the other moments for you outside of seeing Gordon and what he was doing there at the Masters? I mean, you were at the Masters. What was some other things for you that you were like, this is really surreal?
Well, you know, it was the first Masters, and it really, really reminded me of the Kentucky Derby. The television does not really do the crowd justice. How many people are in that facility and walking around? It's such a huge event, a huge crowd. It's a very social thing. I just was really struck by just how many people are there, and people from all over. It's such a global event. I couldn't tell you how many Australian accents I heard, Scottish accents, Irish accents, people from, you know, Asian countries and South American countries, and really, really cool to see. Something I just never, I don't know why I just never really considered when I was watching golf and watching the Masters, but what a huge global event. Really cool to sort of just hear, you know, voice inflections and accents from all over the country, all over the world. See all sorts of, you know, different people from everywhere, really, and cheering on different players. I also thought that par 3 contest was really, really, really neat. Gordon Sargent had his brother caddy for him. I heard his brother was way more nervous. He's an 18-year-old. He was way more nervous than Gordon, who was actually playing the event. It's really cool to see a lot of the kids out there during that competition crawling on the green. So that was a special moment, too, I think, for Gordon and his family, and then for me to be able to watch that and be a part of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a, just to see you down there and kind of live vicariously through you, knowing that you were down there, because I'm just getting into golf as a fan, and so this year I've really, you know, especially with this Masters, I've really paid attention and seen it. It's just so many cool things that they do down there, because they're really stringent on their rules and the certain things that you can do and how you have to act there, and things that the, you know, fans can, I mean, even just so much as their folding chairs can't have any arms on it. I mean, things like that it is so cool. Did you notice anything else that was, you know, as you're walking around, it's like, oh, I didn't know this, or I didn't see this? Was there anything else that you saw that you were just kind of impressed by the actual place?
Yeah, you're exactly right. For those who don't know, cell phones are not permitted at Augusta National Golf Club. Maybe you can keep it in your pocket down there, but you're not supposed to have that thing with you at all, and that includes members of the media. So there's signs everywhere to leave your cell phone in your car, leave it in the press building, no phones past this point. Makes communication a little difficult, and really don't really have any idea what time it is. So it's really kind of a cool throwback to kind of be disconnected and off the grid from the world when you're out there. When I was there Monday through Wednesday, lots of digital cameras, lots of, you know, high-end cameras from fans coming in. But when the tournament actually starts, there's no photography permitted outside of media personnel. So that was another interesting aspect. And then the rush to get merchandise. I really believe people show up with tickets not to watch golf, but to rush that merch store and get themselves some tickets, get themselves some merchandise. The Garden Gnome was a huge popular item. I saw all sorts of people walking the grounds with giant boxes of Garden Gnomes to take home. And I myself made a couple trips to that merch store to get myself some pretty cool stuff. So that was interesting to see as well, that the merch house was just as popular as the golf itself.
Yeah, that's tremendous. I heard too, for the media, I don't know if this was true or not, I heard that they have an RFID chip inside of the press badge, so they know where you are as a media member at all times. Was that true?
If it is, it wouldn't surprise me. I do know you do scan your press credential to get in the facility, just like you would, you know, a ticket or anything else. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It did feel like a little bit of a Big Brother situation. Now, there was something curious. I did see a rule official on the course using his cell phone, which threw me for a big loop because if he isn't supposed to be in charge of the rules, he was clearly breaking one. But anyway, that's probably a query for another day, I guess.
Chad Bishop, you can follow him on Twitter at Mr. Chad Bishop. Covers all things for VUCommodores.com. Chad, we appreciate you. Appreciate your work down in Augusta covering everything. Gordon, and appreciate you coming on to the show today, buddy.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. See ya.
Absolutely. Be safe coming back up. Good stuff there from Chad Bishop. Once again, follow him on Twitter at Mr. Chad Bishop. What would be the thing for you, Devlin, that you would want to buy?
The Garden Gnome.
The Garden Gnome?
Yeah. I mean, I for those of you who don't know how the Masters merchandise works, you can only get Masters merchandise in Augusta during the Masters.
Yeah.
And the Garden Gnome itself, I think it's probably $150, but the resale value, out of this world.
I didn't know that.
Oh my
God,
God,
the price
it
on
is
that.
insane. Like the resale value on all the stuff that you can buy at the Masters tripled, quadruple what you bought it for, but especially that Garden Gnome. For whatever reason, the Garden Gnome is very valuable.
Can you ever see a sporting event nowadays starting and keeping that kind of prestige, right? Like the Masters, just the idea of making people put their phone away. You can't have your phone out.
No.
You know, something like that where you could have a sporting event start today, something new to any sport, and actually control those kind of variables and, you know, the merch and all that. It's so built up and it's so long, you know, such a history, because I've really dove into the history of the Masters. That I don't know if you'd be able to start even a golf event or, you know, a basketball tournament or whatever. I don't think you'd be able to find that. I don't think you'd be able to recreate that kind of situation in any other sport in a new tournament style.
The way the Masters is run, the tradition of it, everything has stayed the same throughout history. All the rules have been the same. They've been very strict. You're never going to see anything like that. Augusta and the Masters is completely one in a million. You're never going to see, like, you can maybe compare it to, like, I don't know, Kentucky Derby or some big tennis match or something like that I'm not aware of. But as far as the things you're going to experience at the Masters, never going to see it anywhere else.
It's crazy too. So I learned this about the green jacket. I didn't know this. So the winner, you get your green jacket, obviously. For that year, you get to hold on to your green jacket and celebrate with it. After that, you leave it in your locker and it has to stay there. And the only times you're able to wear it is back at the Masters when you come back in.
It's very
I didn't know
special.
it. I just realized, you know, I saw Tiger Woods and all them walking into the Masters champion dinner for Scotty Scheffler, and they didn't have the jacket on. But then they got in, they had the jacket on. It's because the jacket's just there all the time.
Yep, they can't. Yeah, you can't have it back. The moment you gotta live up that year with that green jacket. Wear it as much as you can, but after that, hang it up. You're not going to see it again until the next one.
But it's so good. I bet when they finally get to see it again.
Oh
they're
yeah,
like, yeah, this is
it
that
makes it so
jacket,
special.
baby.
Yeah,
everything it is. It's just all so special. I really come to like so much appreciation of this.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, I don't play golf, but I do love watching golf. Masters especially. It's the best event, one of the best events in sports.
Yeah, I just don't think you'd be able to recreate that tournament atmosphere like nowadays with any new tournament, whether it be golf, whether it be whatever, any sport. You wouldn't be able to do it. You just it would be almost impossible to start that nowadays, which is really sad because we have traditions, right? Like, and you can't have any new traditions. You can't have anything new that will be, 10, 15, 70 years later that we're like that. They're still keeping it going the same way.
You can't start something like the Masters. Like, you can't start something new and make it compare, because it started a million years ago and it never changed. The only way you can do that is if you started now, and in 150 years, it was the exact same.
Yeah, it's wild. That is wild. All right, 615-844-5600. If you want to get in, we want to talk to you back after this here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. Right now, we still see that heavy traffic volume making its way up through the Madison area on 65 northbound. It's just busy, but it's moving all the way up to Vietnam Vets. Couple of wrecks around town. The fire department dispatched this wreck like 3 times. Melrose at Nolensville Pike. Watch for that intersection to be tied up. Out on the west side, they're still trying to clear that wreck. Highway 70 at Heath Road. Radar spotted earlier. I-40 out through parts of Wilson County. Hey, Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. If you're considering getting your house painted this spring and summer, check these guys out first. NashPainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Fun is in full bloom, Tennessee, and the multiplier instant games are buzzing in. These colorful tickets offer chances to multiply your wins 10, 20, 50, and even 100 times. It's a beautiful day for bigger and bigger prizes, and they're ripe for the picking right now. Find the multiplier instant games today at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Tennessee's natural sounds come alive in the spring. There's the bark of the red fox, the growl of the American black bear, the hoot of the great horned owl. And what's this?
All right!
Oh my, it's the howling of a Tennessee lottery player who's just won big.
Heed the call to top prizes of up to $500,000 when you play the all-new instant games this spring. Find them at your nearest Tennessee Lottery retailer today. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Smashville, experience Predators hockey all season long. 2023-24 season tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seat location before the general public. Score savings up to 45% off box office pricing and enjoy season ticket citizen discounts at concessions and retail. Secure your exclusive benefits at NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. Go Preds!
The battle for a sixth straight division crown starts right now, and the East already knows don't sleep on the Atlanta Braves.
Next pitch to Riley. Swung on, hammered to deep center. He's at the track, he's at the wall. Home run!
Catch the 2023 Atlanta Braves right here on Nashville's home for Braves baseball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. A show called The Afternoon Stretch is a stretch. Calling it a show. The Afternoon Stretch.
The Afternoon Stretch. Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. 615-844-5600. That's the number you got to get in if you want to talk. There's not many times that we get callers in the show that I see my producer, Devlin McKenzie's eyes light up, and he gets really excited about it. But someone I don't believe we've had call in on the show before, that's not to my knowledge at least, Jay in Nashville. Jay, you lit up my guy's eyes because apparently you played at the Masters.
Well,
on the course is what he said.
I've not played at the Masters. I've played Augusta.
Played Augusta, yeah sorry.
No, it is. I just listened to you guys talk and talking about what a special place it is, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't pinch myself. I've got 4 rounds there. I've been to the tournament several times, and nobody goes there that doesn't come back and say they get everything right. It is down to the color of the sandwich bags, so they blend in on TV, so you don't see plastic bags floating around. They're green. But it's purposeful. That's not a mistake. And so at the end of every tournament, they get around. They have an outside company that to call it an audit is not exactly accurate, but they basically audit how it's done, because the membership says we're going to make sure that this is the greatest fan experience, the greatest family experience, the greatest whatever experience we can make it. One of the great examples that I think, and it's a little thing, but it's huge, is years ago, they wanted to be the first major sporting event that could park every single patron for free. I mean, you think about it. When have you ever been to a sporting event that you didn't have to pay for parking? And so what did they do? They bought the entire neighborhood that surrounds Augusta National. They bought it. They gave everybody a fair price, and then they slowly, tore down those homes and built a parking lot and said, not only are the ticket prices manageable, but hey, we're not going to, you're not going to have to fork over another $50 a day to park. But every year at the end of the tournament, that's what they do. They say, how can we make this more enjoyable for the people that get to come?
Let me ask you this, Jay, just because I'm curious. You said you've played Augusta 4 times. Was it invitation, I'm assuming? I mean, did you know somebody? And by the way, how much did it cost to play? We were just discussing
a million questions.
Well, the cost of it, I'm not sure. I played as a guest of a member. Fortunate enough to have a family friend who's a member. And back in 2001, I believe, was my first time. And it's funny. I can remember every single shot I hit that first time. The other 3 rounds, they blend together a little bit. But 20 years ago, I can tell you every single shot I hit and what distance I had them. So it is a special place. It is a memorable place, and I don't say this braggingly. I say it as a credit to the membership, as a credit to what they mean to golf history, and a credit to putting the fans first, especially during their events there, saying we know it's tough. It's tough to get here. It's not easy to get here, but when you do, we're going to make sure that it is absolutely the most incredible experience you can have.
Well, Jay, you may become my favorite caller of the show because, I mean, next time you're out there, you just ring us up, buddy. And, if you need somebody that can come out there to shoot, high 90s, low hundreds, then I'm your guy.
Hey, the list is long but distinct, but we'll add you to the list.
Hey, appreciate you calling in, Jay.
Hey, have a good Easter, guys.
Thank you. You too, buddy. That's crazy.
What an awesome call.
That's an awesome call, Jay.
That fired me up.
Yeah, that's great. I understand exactly what he's talking about too. Not so much to know about Augusta, but the remembering your first time at that course. Like I remember the first time that I played like a good round of golf, because I'm still a new golfer, that I remember that round. I remember every single shot. I bet you if I played Augusta and then played it multiple times, let's just say that, I would remember every single shot all the way through that.
I couldn't even fathom the idea of going there, let alone playing the course. I don't even golf, by the way.
Yeah, you don't care about that part.
I mean, wow. It's your child being born, getting married, and playing Augusta, dude. Could not even imagine.
I Googled, Augusta National Golf Club because I wanted to look at like if they had a pricing sheet.
Yeah,
I knew they didn't, by the way, but we're sitting there talking about it. I can't help it. And the Google options they have people also ask. So the first one, can anyone play at Augusta National Golf Club? That's the first one, which is fair because people are like, how do I get in?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How much does it cost to play a round of golf at Augusta National Golf Club? The green fees, by the way, $525 for members and $525 for guests of members. So that's what you would cost to get down there. Supposedly, this is what Google said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, going through it. Third one down. Why are live golfers playing in the Masters?
Tradition.
It's all Brooks Koepka's fault.
Yeah,
it's all Brooks Koepka's fault because he's on top, and they're like, "What is happening right now?" Did you see the whole? I don't know what you would call it. I saw people crying on Twitter about it, but there was supposedly a rules violation on the first day.
Yeah, Colin Morikawa was it, or was it somebody else?
There was Colin Morikawa, right, where he had he moved the ball, but
didn't get penalized.
But he shouldn't have.
No,
and he shouldn't have got penalized. But there was one with Brooks Koepka, that his caddy supposedly gave advice to an opposing player, which is a penalty. Because I guess they asked what he hit there, and he just said a 5, and that gave, supposedly rules. Crybaby stuff. Crybaby stuff is what I would call that. I don't know if that is something that, is that really what? No, I just saw the video, and I saw a guy on Twitter going through and complaining about, the fact that his caddy gave him information or gave him other information What golf course in America have you ever seen when somebody hits a shot, they're like, what'd you hit right there? Oh, a 5. Okay. That's not helping the competition in any kind of way. And the guy whose Twitter, I forget whose name it was saying that, oh, well, they shoot the same shots. I think it was Woodward. They said, oh, they shoot the exact same shot. Their yardage is off maybe by a yard. So it was basically helping. And really it wasn't. I mean, give me a break on that one, by the way. That watching people try to find anything wrong with the live golfers being at Augusta is annoying to me. And that's what Twitter's been so far. And I'm glad for the most part, none of it. I mean, if Brooke wins, or, if he wins, that's going to be a big issue. And I saw Phil had a good day as well.
Yeah, he's not looking bad out there.
So, I mean, if those guys finish up high, then there's going to be issues there for people, and that whole conversation will come out. But miss me with all this wah bull crap.
Mm-hmm. If a live player wins, that's when it's an issue. If they come in top 10, whatever. But if they win,
it's only going to be an issue in the sense of people are going to talk about it.
Oh, people are. There's nothing anybody else can do about it.
Liv's going to blow it up.
Yeah.
They may spend $1 trillion on just the marketing campaign for that winner.
Yeah, 100%. And you can expect it. Especially Brooks Koepka, who's one of the biggest names.
Exactly.
In live, 100%.
Let's go to the phone line, 615-844-5600. Steve in H Vegas. How you doing, Steve?
Not bad. First of all, Jay there's running in a totally different crowd than any of the rest of us, because you can't just, even if you're a billionaire, you can't just walk up to Augusta and say, I want to join here. You got to understand you have to be invited and know a lot of people to get in that short list. So,
I heard, Steve, that if you ask to join, you get blackballed, and they will not let you join ever and put you on a lifetime ban list.
If you Google search it, they probably track you and already cut you off.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even know if Brady or Peyton Manning or any of them could. I mean, I'm sure they've been invited. I don't know, but it's a very exclusive list. And not to call you out, but what do you shoot like at Country Hills on a good day, average day, straight up, not any kind of mulligans or anything?
Yeah, Country Hills. I hate Country Hills, and I mean that with love, right, Steve? Because that's our Hendersonville course. But it's just because it's always wet. That it could have not rained for 200 days. There's going to be a mud puddle somewhere in Country Hills.
No.
But all the same, no. On a normal day for me now, I sit at about 85 and up. So that's about where I'll be at Country Hills. That place is tough though, because it really, I mean, in the name, it's really hilly.
Yeah. And I know you kind of threw it out there, but you really think you could shoot high 90s, low hundreds at Augusta? Straight up on a regular, if those greens are rolling, I would be happy if I could break 150, to be honest.
Dude, Zach.
Any average golfer is not going to break 100 there. I can promise you that.
I'm somebody who believes in themselves, Steve. So yeah,
I'm going
to say
a lot of confidence.
I'll keep it below 110. I'll keep it below 110.
Okay.
I would 100% keep it.
No, he's not, Steve.
I would be shaking so bad that first tee shot. I mean, even if I was playing by myself, just to be out there, that would be crazy.
If I can get rolling the rock on I played some nice courses around here, and when I get the putter going, because my drives are going to be fine. I'm putting it out about 270, 280, and then building off that, and just my wedges in. As long as I'm getting around the green and get the rock rolling, I'm gonna be sitting fine. I believe in myself, Steve.
I know you have confidence. I know you. Before you said you can hit a Ohtani slider out of the park 8 out of 10 times. So it's good to be a confident young man. But now that would be an interesting thing. I think you can play Pebble for like 500. I think any joke, they'll take your money. So there's courses like that they'll let you out there. But I'm mad as a youngster. You used to be able to go to the practice rounds. You didn't have to enter this whole lottery. I wish I would have done that just to actually see it for once. But
yeah, maybe
one day Jay will invite us with his crew. We can go out there. Y'all can do the show from Augusta one day with John Daly at Hooters or something.
That would be, yeah. Well, I would love that.
That would be it. Be awesome. All right, boy, I'm going home watch Vandy win their 11th in a row.
All right, Steve. Appreciate calling in, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Do we have enough time for the last break here, Devlin?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and run it real quick. 615-844-5600.
Good afternoon. We still see some traffic volume trying to get north of town on 65, making your way up through Madison, up to Vietnam. It hadn't been too bad as far as interstate accidents in the last 15, 20 minutes. I still see it backed up at times 40 eastbound off-ramp over there at Donaldson Pike. A lot of folks have been in and out of B&A Airport. It seems like all afternoon, or actually started early this morning. Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. If you're getting your house painted this spring and summer, check with these guys first. They've got the best ratings all and throughout Middle Tennessee. NashPainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited-time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited-time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Hello, this is Philip Cox from Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Are you looking for new and exciting things to do with the family during the spring and summer months? Thanks to Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, you don't have to look any further. Sign up today for Kids Bowl Free, a summer pass starting in May where kids 15 and under receive 2 free games of bowling every day. You can also purchase a family pass that allows you to join the fun as well. Visit any of the 5 local Strike and Spare locations in Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Donaldson, Hermitage, and Tusculum to register or just visit kidsbowlfree.com/Strike and Spare. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. This afternoon is going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 60. Cloudy tonight with the slightest chance for shower later Saturday morning, low tonight 48. Then mostly cloudy for the rest of Saturday with a high of 62. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio, WNSR.
Sports fans, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights at 6 and hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby and Darren McFarland.
Hey, listen to Youth Connect on Monday nights from 6 until 7 o'clock as we highlight high-level trainers, coaches, and players in and around Middle Tennessee. Give us a call at 615-844-5600. We live video stream all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And hear me, Seagull Boys basketball coach Matt Rigsby.
And hear me, Darren McFarland, live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
The Afternoon Stretch. It's a radio show.
The Afternoon Stretch, final moments of the show. Hope everybody has a terrific Easter weekend. Remember what it's all about as well. Don't take it just for the bunny and the chocolate and all that kind of stuff. No. There's a message behind it. Man, Masters officially paused for the day. Suspended play for the day. We have Vandy baseball coming up. Andrew Allegretta on the call. And on the bump tonight for the Commodores taking on Missouri be Hunter Owen. That is who you're going to get on the rubber tonight for the second game. Look, that was a close one last night. It ended up getting close. I for sure think they're going to win the series no matter what. I'm worried that one, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that one loss is finally going to happen in SEC play, which is not a bad thing, right? Like getting the loss, at an appropriate time is not a bad thing. So we'll see if that does not happen. But we will now kick it over to Andrew Allegretta. Appreciate everybody who called in, commented in, watched in, however you did. Remember, if nobody's told you, I love you and you matter. Have a great night. We'll see you next time here on Nashville Sports Radio.